Hi, my name is Tim, and today I'm in Kotor in Montenegro.
Kotor is located on Montenegro's Adriatic coast, and today I'm visiting on a cruise excursion from Cunard's Queen Victoria. We're lucky enough to be docked just a short stroll from the fortified walls of the old town. You can book a cruise excursion or take advantage of one of the tourist buses, but as the ship is docked so close to the centre, we're exploring independently on foot. After leaving the cruise terminal, you take an escalator down through an underpass. There are people trying to sell more excursions and boat trips, but just a few steps further and you take the escalator up the other side. As you come up the other side, you carry on walking straight ahead. It's not far at all, maybe only about 3 or 4 minutes walk, and you reach the entrance to the old town. The fortified medieval town sits in a secluded part of the Bay of Kotor in a striking landscape with towering limestone cliffs providing a dramatic backdrop. As you enter via the sea gate, you're walking into one of the best preserved medieval towns in the Adriatic and a double UNESCO World Heritage Site. You arrive into a piazza known as Arms Square with its clock tower directly in front of you. There are several cafes and restaurants if you want to stop in the square. Alternatively, there are narrow side streets which take you deeper in the old town to explore further. There are lots of monuments to the medieval architecture with churches, cathedrals, palaces and museums. It's a maze of narrow streets, squares and markets, and a wonderful place to just stroll around and get lost and soak up the atmosphere of this medieval old town. Kotor's most impressive building is the Catholic cathedral dedicated to Saint Trithon. The cathedral was consecrated in 1166 but reconstructed after several earthquakes. When the entire frontage was destroyed in 1667, the Baroque bell towers were added and the left side remains unfinished as of today. As you explore the narrow streets and squares, you will notice a lot of stray cats, but on closer inspection, you'll see that they are well looked after and healthy, with lots of bowls of food dotted around the old town. They are regarded as a lucky symbol and a much loved feature of Kotor. As you make your way to the other end of the old town, you come to the southern gate. Because of its strategic importance to the defence of the town, it actually consists of a system of 3 gates. It opens out to the stunning bluey-green, crystal-clear waters of the Gerdic Spring. It's a great spot to stop and just take a few minutes to soak up the natural beauty of this stunning medieval old town. If you leave the inner sanctum of the old town and cross the bridge and back onto the road, you can walk around the outskirts of the city walls and see the moat. When we were visiting, following this route took us to a lovely market selling a selection of fruit and vegetables and other produce. There was a great choice of cheeses and meats, some fantastic looking cherries, and a big selection of olives. Back in the sanctuary of the city walls, there are a lot more shopping opportunities, with more markets, clothes boutiques, antique shops, jewellers, and souvenir stores. Here you can see St. Luke's Church, which was originally Catholic but became Orthodox in 1657. We hit a short rain shower, but it didn't detract from the natural beauty of the town. St. Nicholas's Church is a Serbian Orthodox church which dominates St. Luke's Square. It's a striking landmark that's easily recognisable because of its domed towers. It's a relatively new building completed in 1909 after the original church was burnt down in a fire in 1810. The walls that surround the old town were built for protection, and you can climb up and walk around for great views of the town and the surrounding area. I got a good view of our cruise ship docked nearby. You can see just how close it is to the old town. The walls are 4.5 kilometres long and provide a fun way to explore. If you're fit and able, a great thing to do is to climb the ramparts that lead up the mountainside to the fortress at the top, offering spectacular views over Kotor and its bay. I've only got time today to climb the mountainside to the church at the midway point. But with more time and energy, you can climb all the way up to the fortress at the top. When I was there, it was €15 to climb the ramparts. The steps are steep and in some places quite slippery, so you do need to be careful, but the further you climb up, the better the views get. As you hike up the steep slopes of St. John's Mountain, you get to enjoy beautiful wild flowers. There are something like 650 steps just to reach the church at the midway point. It's a similar number of steps again if you want to go all the way up to the Byzantine fortress at the top. It took me roughly 20 minutes to reach the Church of Our Lady of Remedy. The church was built in 1518 and belongs to the Roman Catholic Diocese of Kotor. The small church sits on a ledge with a balcony terrace with panoramic views. The Bay of Kotor is often referred to as a fjord, but it's actually an ancient river canyon. From the small terrace in front of the church, I could appreciate the sheer height of the limestone cliffs which tower above the old town. Our cruise ship looked tiny from this height, and even though I didn't make it all the way up to the top to the fortress, I will remember these views for a long time. One of the friendly cats of Kotor provided the picture-perfect shot. It was time to take the winding path and steps back down to the old town. Back in the narrow streets, I made my way to the third and final gate through the city walls, known as the River Gate, or sometimes called the North Gate. The gate opens onto a natural moat formed by the clear and bubbling waters of the Skurda River. The gate was built in 1540 to commemorate the attack the previous year by the Ottoman Navy. If you follow the bridge over the river and turn left, you can walk down and cross over the main road, and it only takes a few minutes to reach a small sandy beach. Kotor has its own microclimate and can attract high levels of rainfall due to its geological configuration with a backdrop of high mountains. When I visited in late May, it was warm and sunny for most of the day, but we did have a few light showers. Close to the cruise terminal, there is a small marina and a lovely park area situated just behind. It provides a nice walk along the waterside in this part of Kotor. There are lots of boat trips on offer if you want to explore the Bay of Kotor and its islands. My time in Kotor was coming to an end and it was time to return to the ship. It was so easy having the cruise ship docked so close to the old town. There were other cruise ships visiting that day that had to dock out in the bay and were reliant on tenders to bring people in and out. It was sad to be leaving Kotor, but we enjoyed an amazing experience sailing back to the Adriatic Sea through the winding 28 kilometres of the bay with its pretty towns and small islands. The picturesque waterside town of Dobrota sits just outside of Kotor, and it's the area where a lot of the people who work in Kotor reside. You get a wonderful view of St Matthew's Church, which is the older of the two Catholic churches in the town. It was built in 1670 with a Baroque frontage, a well-proportioned dome and a tall steeple. The church sits majestically on the waterfront, and at certain times of the day you can hear its bells ringing out over the Bay of Kotor. We sailed further along the bay past the popular town of Perast and came to one of the area's most famous landmarks, the tiny island known as the Lady of the Rocks. Legend has it that local seamen found an icon of Madonna and Child on a rock, and over centuries they built the island up by throwing stones into the water. The two tiny islands provide the picture-perfect end to this glorious trip to this part of Montenegro.
I've had a great day in Kotor. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to see some more of my travels, please click subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye.